Hello and welcome to BeamNG.drive. Today I'm taking a look at the Cherrier Ardente. And let's start by taking a look at the outside of this new base game vehicle. This is how it looks like. I really like it. In my opinion, it's a mix between the Mitsubishi Eclipse and the new Alpine A110. I really like the shape. However, this car has 4 seats and I think the people in the rear seats should have no legs to stay comfortable. And let's go on the inside to see quite a fancy interior. Very cool looking. I have these annoying lines in the game. That's annoying. Damn it. There's something wrong. But anyway. Also, I noticed from the inside camera there is a little target in the middle of the screen, so it's easier to aim at the clickable options. For example, I can open the door and it's easier to aim, because before we didn't have this crosshair, so aiming at some, for example, latches, it was quite difficult. Also, this is the new sun visor system that the game has implemented. Very clean and cool looking. And we can also turn on the hazards, turn off and on the car, the indicators, open the tailgate and the hood. Now, let's go on the outside because I want to open the tailgate and the hood. So let's go into free roam action, fun stuff, other, and open latches. Okay. Okay. Wow, seriously. Going into the radial menu, it resets the HUD. Oh, okay, anyway. This is the boot. I really like this kind of trunk lid. I like it, and this is the engine bay. And I have to say this car is overall very, very cool looking. Also the headlights and the rear lights as well. Okay, now give me a moment to go and bring back my HUD because I want it. I made it, so I want to use it. Come on, game, please. Thank you. And now, let's go for a drive. This is a lower-end model. Let me see if the game does tell me. It does tell me in the new menu. Okay, this is the 230 version, so not the slowest of the selection this vehicle has, but it's not very powerful, let's say. It is still quite fast, 225 horsepower, not the lightest car, it's 1.4 tons, but it is a nice sports car. It is quite rigid in the suspension tuning, so bumps are not a friend to this car, but it is quite nice. Now this particular configuration, I think it has front wheel drive setup, but it's available also in rear wheel drive, in all wheel drive and 4x4, which is good. A lot of options. The tunnel flashbang, I forgot. Turn on the headlights. Okay, not very much light. Ow! Okay. That's a crash, a big one. I got grabbed by the tunnel wall, and this car is destroyed. It seems like it has a new destruction model for the windshield. It looks new. I may be wrong, but that's interesting. Also, I really like the indicators. I'm not a huge fan of those kind of indicators in real life, but in this game it's fine. I kinda enjoy them. Now this car is completely destroyed. Can it still drive? Maybe? No, but it still has power. Anyway, let's refresh it. Okay, stop honking, I'm going away. Stupid BX. And it does suffer, however, from understeer, at least in the front-wheel drive configurations. In my opinion, at least, we know this game is understeery. Some vehicles suffer more than others. The ESC is quite intense sometimes, and I noticed it in the electric configuration, and that's a rear-wheel drive version. It is working extra time because it wants to spin a lot without it. Okay, I did damage the front wheel, so let's reset it because that was just light damage. Hey, watch out. But apart from those small issues, it is a very fun vehicle to drive, even in the lower configurations. Because I'm driving on this road, on Jungle Rock Island, yes. It's the name in the minimap, that's why I like the minimap, because it remembers the name of the map, because I always forget. And I'm having a good time. It's fast, it's kind of controllable. It has the front steering wheels, sorry, are quite fragile. Small bumps can easily damage them. And also the engine, of course it's in the front, but I was about to say that's somewhat easy to damage. If you smash on a solid wall at 200 km per hour, of course it will break, but even in slower crashes, it did damage. The pop-up of the engine damage came out on the top. Oh my god, I can't drive for anything today. Let's do head-on collision, engine damage. So, it can still drive, but it has engine damage. Okay. It can't, why it doesn't want to go in reverse? Okay, that's interesting. No parking brake on, and it does not want to go in reverse. I can go forward. Maybe gearbox. Okay, no. That's unusual. It's broken. Ah, okay. The half shaft is broken. That's my fault. But it is a nice vehicle to drive. I like it. It has some interesting configuration, and I really like as well the spoiler pop-up. Other vehicles already have this, but I still like it on this kind of cars. It looks cool, and it probably has a purpose as well, as since this game now has aerodynamics, so maybe it is really helpful now. We will see. Only time will tell. Now, I've had enough of driving and crashing by mistake, and now I want to intentionally crash strong. Do a big crash. I want this car to crumple like it has never done before. Okay, is there a big truck? Yes, it's the delivery van. It's the heaviest spawning in traffic at the moment. Okay, I don't want to hit the sunburst. Okay, that's not a good speed to have a big crash, only 100 km per hour. Okay, head-on collision, big smash, and another big crash on the front. The car, it should be driving now, because I have the half shaft, yes, and it's drivable. And the damage, of course, it's good. No, so far, no particular bugs or weird interactions, only the fact that the front suspensions are quite fragile and prone to damage, even if you do a small bump. But anyway, this was the 230 configuration, and now let's see what this car has to offer. The Ardente comes with 19 configurations, but for this car I want to do an experiment. Instead of watching the thumbnails, I spawn most of them and I will cycle through them, because I found this setting and it is quite interesting to try. Now, this is the standard version, the base version, the 190, which is also available in diesel, with a diesel engine, like this one, for example. Then we have the 230 that I was driving, and it also is available with the DCT, which is interesting. We also have a bit more luxurious vehicle with the two-tone paint job. I'm not a huge fan of this beige color, but it looks okay. And then we have the Carabinieri and the Gendarmerie, I hope it's pronounced correctly, configuration. So police forces, the two police forces for this vehicle. And then we have the electric with the standard electric Cherrier rims, which is the camera, this one, standard rims. And then a faster electric vehicle, that's interesting, a very cool looking. This is also 4x4, an unusual powertrain in my opinion. And then we have the fastest, the faster sportier version, very nice paint, and again the two-tone paint job is looking very cool on this car. And then we have the similar version with a nice bright orange. And then we go to the racing configuration. This is a very Need for Speed looking vehicle. I really like the livery. The Feline Racer is very cool looking. I'm not a huge fan of the black. I don't like too much black, but on this livery it looks nice. I also really like the cut on the hood. It looks very cute. And then we have the track day with no livery, plain white, but very fast and good to drive. We have a proper race car with the livery is not the most intense looking, interesting looking, but it's quite clean. I like it. Then we have an asphalt rally version and also a gravel rally version with two different liveries. I really like this one with white and gray and green more. And then we have another standard and very reflective mid spec of the Ardente, and one of my favorite, the Ardente Carmine Sport, because it has a very cool style, a good paint job, and those wheels on this car, to me, they are fantastic, fabulous, I love them. I don't know why, I'm not a huge fan of this kind of rims, but I have to say, in the total of the car, they look fine, However, these were the configurations for the new Ardente. Look at this circle, almost a complete circle. They are judging the Carmine Sport in the middle, but let me know if this is an interesting way to showcase them. I like it. It takes a while to set up, but that's not a problem. That's my problem. It's not a problem. It is, however, quite heavy on the PC because you saw some lagging here and there, but I think it's interesting and it's quite better than looking at thumbnails. I liked it. Let me know if you prefer this one or just the plain thumbnails. And now let's go and try a second configuration. The second configuration I want to try is the race version. So I am in Spa-Francorchamps circuit and let's do a lap of this track. But I want to try to do it in the dark, so we can try this new nighttime system in the game. So now let's go to environment and let's go night, easy peasy. Okay, full dark, because I don't think this track is illuminated, even in real life, so high beams on. Okay, it's almost scary, looking at this, and the front looks evil, like an alien. Interesting, I like it. Okay, let's do a lap of this track in the complete darkness of the night. So, I like this track, I remember most of it, but I will probably crash because I can't judge the distances. And this is probably a thing they need to change, and it is the distance the lights illuminate, because I have the high beams on, but they feel like almost the standard headlights. So I'm not sure about that. They will probably need a little bit more power. But speaking of this car, we don't need to see that much because we already saw it in the showcase of the configurations. But it is quite good to drive. It's fast, it's reactive. It only has a disadvantage, a downside, let's say. Whoa, okay, wait, the corner is coming up. A little bit early, but that's better than not braking at all. And is the fact that under braking zones the rear gets way too light, in my opinion, and wants to overtake the front, so it's easy to spin in braking zones, in my opinion. It can be a danger, so you gotta be careful when braking hard with this car, because it can be quite unstable. So if you are doing risky overtakes and then have to brake instantly after, it can be dangerous. But apart from that, it is a nice drive, a nice race car. I really like it. I won't say it's better than the Solayad Wendover race car, because that's it has a special place in my heart, but it is quite good. It doesn't have the Kitty Racer, what was that? The Felin Racer's livery, and that's probably the best livery in the entire game. I hope someone will make it available on all the other vehicles, because it looks fantastic. But apart from that, okay, this is a solid choice for a race car. Not the fastest, because as you can see from the left, it has 350 horsepower, so it's not a missile, but it can reach very high top speeds. And if you consider that it is quite reactive, it is a fun car to drive. Of course, it has some understeer, but that's every car in this game, probably because we are not accustomed to driving these vehicles in real life, but we know that BeamNG has some understeer issue. Now, the last chicane, I applied the brake way too early, but so we don't... Wait a second, that's the moon? Oh, the red moon! Oh, that's... Wow, that's beautiful. But anyway, this was a lap of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit with the new Cherrier Ardente, and now let's crash it at the end of the straight finish line. maybe hopefully crash the rear if I can judge the wall correctly. Okay, spinning around, boom. That's very difficult to see. In fact, I can't see anything. And I broke only one rear light. Anyway, let's go to the environment and let's wait for the sunrise at 6 AM to see the damage on this car. And it is quite harsh on this left rear corner, but the other parts of the vehicle are quite in good shape, quite strong. And I saw this new suspension. This new suspension model looks incredibly detailed. Okay, I'm not sure I've seen this before in the game. That's interesting. Okay, nice. It looks very cool, very detailed for a part that, apart from big crashes like this, is always hidden. So that's very, very nice. However, a thing I noticed crashing this particular configuration, at least, is that the hood sometimes has some vibration on its own. Not expected from a base game vehicle to have that kind of issue. It can happen, of course, probably they will fix it. It didn't happen with every crash, but it did happen sometimes, so yeah. A little bit of retouch of the front of the car can be good. The hood and the strength of the front suspension and steering parts could be nice. But this car was a joy to drive, even if you didn't see that much. I did enjoy it. I really recommend you go and drive it yourself because it is a fun, nice race car. And now let's go and do some final crashes. And the chosen victim for the descent is the Ardente S310. But first, a sad news. And the update broke my descent map, my best favorite crashing map. There is this ugly black halo all around the map. And if you look up, you can see that it looks like we are in a giant cube. And I don't like it. Also, the sun is not good. It doesn't know how to behave. So if there is someone out there that is good at messing with maps and mods, please fix it and bring it back how it was before this update. I would love to have it back because this is my favorite crashing map. But anyway, let's now crash this beautiful yellow sports car and let's do a flight. Okay, engine damage, of course, landing upside down. Ooh, big hit on the rear, that's devastating damage for the car. Okay, and now somersaulting about. And I can see already some ugly things, that's not good. And on fire, perfect, just to end with a nice touch, we are on fire. Now, the damage is devastating, the car is absolutely destroyed, there is no more parts that resemble a car, maybe this panel on the beside the door, but apart from that it's just a ball of metal. But it's not the first time that I noticed, especially on the rear, there is a lot of spiking. Wait, the fire extinguished itself? Okay, okay, that's helpful because it was in the way. It's not the best looking rear, I have to say. From at least a dev quality vehicle. It would need some retouch, would love some retouch. So the rear and also the hood, that's a little jittery sometimes. But apart from that, at least it's stable. I saw a huge... that's very ugly on the downside. It's brighter down there. Okay, this map needs a little bit of love. If someone out there knows how to mess with map, please help me fix it. I would love it. But anyway, this was the new Ardente, a very nice and cute little sports car. And I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.